Hello Slapafish community, welcome back to another Resistance console video. So in this video, I'm going to be driving everybody's favorite little Era 3 tank, the Weasel. So also, if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing because it's free and helps out the channel a ton, and you can always subscribe later. So, I play my Weasel differently from everybody else. So, let's talk about the Weasel. Now, I've made videos on how to fix the Weasel before. Well, I've made a video on how to fix some tanks in Cold War. And one of those tanks was the Weasel. And somebody was like, a couple of people, I've heard a lot of reasonings and a lot of people saying that the way to nerf the Weasel is to nerf the camo. And I say that is 100% useless to nerf the camo and the Weasel, and it makes the tank not what it should be. And it doesn't make sense to nerf camo either. Also, I do not play with my Weasel with camo. If you look on my mini-map, you can see my concealment circle. It's a lot bigger than most Weasels. And you'll see there in this entire match, I will stay spotted. Right now, I'm kind of being a little bit of passive to try to get people. Right now, I'm getting spot assist. So right now, I'm just sitting here. Perfectly fine. But I'm going to start getting spotted and stuff like that. So, yeah, I can have really, really good gains being spotted the entire game. So, the problem with the Weasel is not the concealment. It's the size of the Weasel and how fast it is. There's no make it like the M50 Ontos of Era 3. The M50, if you don't know, the M50 Ontos has the weird perk that light tanks have, that if it retains its same concealment while sitting still while moving, which is the M50 Ontos does that. I don't know why it does that, but it does. It's usually resisted for light tanks, and I just did a full 360 because of another Weasel. But yeah, the M50 Ontos is slow, but it also has the best concealment. Has literally the best concealment. The Weasel and the M50 Ontos has almost the identical concealment, but you don't see people complaining about the Ontos of it being overpowered. It has a really, really good gun. It can clip out any Era 2 tank. But there's a couple things that hold back the Ontos in Era 2. It's slow. It's not that slow. It goes like 40 or 50 kilometers, but it's slow. It's also almost as small as the Weasel, but and almost identical camo as the Weasel. But nobody says that tank's overpowered, because you know why? Because they can hit it. It doesn't have the speed and be like, well, I'm gonna put my 6 shots into this tank and run away. If the Ontos did, then people would be saying that's overpowered. But no. If you get spotted in that tank, you're going to die if you don't get undetected again, because you're so slow. You can't run away. Everything's a lot faster than you, and that's what the Weasel should be. Yes, the Weasel can still have its amazing concealment, and it can also come up behind somebody and be like, hi, I'm here. But it won't be able to be like, hi, bye, I'm too fast for you, and I'm too tiny for you to actually hit me. Like, you can stay spotted the entire game, and nobody can hit you, because you're so fast and you're so tiny. That's what makes the Weasel pretty powerful, and you don't really even need camo. And I've run my Weasel without camo. I improved the mobility of the tank, yes, to prove people that you don't need camo to be great in the Weasel. The Weasel can still do what it can do right now, even without any camo. So nerfing the camo will not work. Nerfing the mobility, yes, that will work. It'll make the playstyle of the Weasel be more like the Amphitheatos. You gotta play more sneakily. You gotta be more careful. It takes more skill to play the Weasel if it's slower. You can't just run away from people, because as soon as you get spotted, you're going to die because everybody's faster than you. And that's how it should be. So yeah. Right now, I've just been running around because I can. Right now, I'm just a light tank. The Weasel is what the light tanks of Era 3 should be like. But they're not. Like the M8AGS, or the VFM, or the Stingray 2. Those tanks are slower than all the heavies and mediums. Also, their concealment's not even that good, and their gun's not even that good. So they have nothing going for them. Then you look at the Weasel, and you have like, oh, this is a tank destroyer that has better concealment, better mobility, and better firepower than the light tanks. Especially the mobility and concealment part, which should not be happening. So, yeah. This is just me in my Weasel. No camo. Just using the full mobility of the Weasel. Like, I was spotted. And that thumper knew I was coming. I was spotted, knew I was coming, and still put an ATGM, and he didn't care. And yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, even you could know the Weasel's coming, but most people don't really care. Or pay attention that there's a tank, an enemy tank right behind you if you're fighting tanks in front of you. Nobody's going to pay attention unless that tank gets their attention from them. And sometimes, I was saying if I was hit, sometimes it doesn't work like that. Also, another thing about the Weasel is, why does the premium ATGMs do more damage and more penetration on the Weasel? Why is that a pay-to-win factor on the Weasel? And it shouldn't exist on any tank. A premium round should not do more damage and have more penetration. That's just wrong. That's just paid to win. But yeah, the Weasel. Like, right here, I've done mobility. I've used my mobility. I mean, I've been spotted for a lot of this match. I got 12,000 spot assists, 6,000 damage. I still have almost half of my hit points. And try your Weasel. If you don't believe me, and you have a Weasel, try your Weasel without camo and just suit it up for mobility. And you'll understand what I'm talking about. You'll be able to do the exact same thing that you're doing right now, because people don't really care about the Weasel or notice the Weasel even when it's spotted in the enemy team behind them. They don't really care. And there's so many instances I have like been behind people and they just never shot me, even though I've been spotted the entire time. But either way, I'll hitting Weasels like that at the end. Anyway, that's it for this video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, remember Slapafish, because always not. And peace out. See ya.